Dan, you good? All right, good morning, classmates. Today I'm going to talk to you about Ronald Reagan's address at the Brandenburg Gate. After World War II, Germany and Berlin were all split between the four Allied powers that won the war, with the UK, the US, and France in the west, and the Soviet Union in the east. Berlin, deep in the heart of Soviet-held Germany, was also split between those four powers, and the Soviets decided to build a wall around the free sectors of the city, cutting off that city and people there from the rest of their country, the rest of their city, their families, and their friends. In 1987, President Ronald Reagan visited Berlin for his second time and gave his famous Brandenburg Gate speech. And so without further ado, the Brandenburg Gate speech by Ronald Reagan. Chancellor Kohl, Governing Mayor Diepgen, ladies and gentlemen, 24 years ago, President John F. Kennedy visited Berlin, and speaking to the people of the city and the world at the City Hall, well, since then, 2 other presidents have come, each in his turn, to Berlin, and today I myself make my second visit to your city. Behind me stands a wall which encircles the free sectors of this city, part of a vast system of barriers that divides the entire continent of Europe. From the Baltic south, those barriers cut across Germany in a gash of barbed wire, concrete, dog runs, and guard towers. Further south, there may be no visible, no obvious wall, but there remain armed guards and checkpoints all the same. Still a restriction on the right to travel, still an instrument to impose upon ordinary men and women the will of a totalitarian state. Where 4 decades ago there was rubble, today in West Berlin there's the greatest industrial output of any city in Germany. Busy office blocks, fine homes and apartments, proud avenues, and the spreading lawns of parkland. Where a city's culture seemed to have been destroyed, today there are 2 great universities, orchestras and an opera, countless theaters and museums. From devastation, from utter ruin, you Berliners have in freedom rebuilt a city that once again ranks as one of the greatest on earth. Now the Soviets may have had other plans, but my friends, there were a few things the Soviets didn't count on. Berliner Herz, Berliner Humor, ja, und Berliner Schnauze. In the 1950s, Khrushchev predicted, "We will bury you." But in the West today, we see a free world that has achieved a level of human achievement and well-being unprecedented in all human history. In the communist world, we see failure, technological backwardness, declining standards of health, even want of the most basic kind, too little food. Even today, the Soviet Union still cannot feed itself. And so, there stands, after these 4 decades, before the world one great inescapable conclusion. Freedom leads to prosperity. Freedom replaces the ancient hatreds among the nations with comity and peace. Freedom is the victor. And now, even the Soviets themselves may in a limited way be coming to understand the importance of freedom. We hear much from Moscow about a new policy of openness and reform. Some political prisoners have been released. Certain foreign news broadcasts are no longer being jammed. Some economic enterprises are being permitted to operate with greater freedom from state control. Are these the beginnings of profound changes in the Soviet state? Or are they token gestures intended to raise false hopes in the West or to strengthen the Soviet system without changing it? We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together, that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace. There is one sign the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of world peace. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Ronald Reagan's speech lasted a total of around 30 minutes. That what I just gave to you is a section of 3 main points that he gave during the speech that reverberated around the free world and the oppressed world. Just a few years after his speech, the Soviet Union and the Berlin Wall fell, reuniting Berlin, Germany, and Europe. Thank you.